Hi guys, James at RampantLionReviews again for you today with another beer review. For this one we are going to head to Niigata Prefecture and have a look at Niigata Beer. This is another brewery who I've never tried anything from, so I'm really looking forward to it. We've got one of their premium range beers today to have a look at. So we're going to have a taste of their Espresso beer, which is described as being a 7% foreign stout, but I guess we can also describe it as a coffee stout, just going by the name. So this one, it should be quite interesting. These guys apparently are known for having a truffle beer. That's meant to be one of their really quite interesting things. So hopefully I can try that for you at some point too. But this beer came highly recommended once again from Koji at Liquor Shop Asahiya here in Taishibashi Yamaichi in Osaka. Make sure you check out his store. There's a link to it in the description below. He's got a great range of things, American beers, Japanese beers, and lots of other various random stuff too, so make sure you go and check that out. But anyway, as is usual with my beer reviews then, I'll tell you a little bit about the brewery. If you do want to get straight to the tasting, just fast forward. All the usual links are in the description below. That's the brewery website, the link to my future reviews that I'll do from Niigata Beer. This is the very first time I'm trying one of their beers, of course. There's all the usual social media. Make sure you check that out. If you want to see more beer reviews, do consider subscribing to the channel. If you want to see my other Japanese reviews, go into the channel homepage and simply search Japan. They'll all pop up. And of course, you can check out Casey and Eric's channel, Sotogami Akihabara, two nice American guys who live up in Tokyo. And you'll see some collaboration reviews with them coming up fairly soon. But anyway, let's tell you a little bit about Niigata Beer. So these guys, as I mentioned to you, are from Niigata Prefecture. They were founded back in December 1997, and of course this was soon after the laws were changed to allow smaller breweries. But the brewery is based in Echizenhama, which is to the west of Niigata City in Niigata Prefecture. It's actually a few hours to the northwest of Tokyo on the opposite coast of Japan. But the brewery produce about 200,000 litres per year, and they have a small agriculture business as well with cows and pigs, and apparently these are both fed with the spent grains from the brewery's brewing process. I think they call it the wort, of course. But they have also apparently collaborated with Niigata University of Applied Life Sciences and cultivated truffles on their land too, which was quite interesting. And the truffles apparently are used in one of the beers too. And they also produce some of their own malts on the land as well. Apparently it's a kind of farm business, if you like, and the land that they work on was previously abandoned. There wasn't too much information actually available on this brewery on the website. I tried searching for articles and things too, but really there wasn't too much available on these guys. So that's all I have for the moment, but maybe in the next review I can get a little bit more info. But anyway, just to list the other beers you can get from these guys, in the regular range they've got the Niigata Beer, which is available both in bottles and in cans. Casey and Eric have reviewed that one actually. There's the Weizen, the European Kulsch, and also the Black Beer. And in their premium range they've got the Golden Kulsch, the Golden Edinburgh, which of course I'll be obliged to try since I'm Scottish. There's the Espresso beer, which is this one here, and the Aisu beer as well, which should be quite interesting. I think that might be the one with the truffles, but I may be mistaken. And they also have some low malt and alcohol free beers as well, so hopefully I can try some of those for you in the fairly near future. But I might not, I'm not sure how long I'll still be in Japan for, so we'll see how we get on. But I'll let you have a little look at the artwork of this one before we open it up. And yeah, here we go. So there you can see on the camera, quite simply presented, this one. And you can see the bottle cap is quite interesting. It actually has the different phases of the moon on it there, which is quite interesting. So I'll need to keep this bottle cap, and it says, I'm not sure which month that is, but I think it says best before the 18th of the 4th or something like that. So I think it might just be next year, of course, but I'm not too sure. But yeah, quite nicely presented, quite simple. So let's get this guy open and we'll get on with the tasting then. Should be pretty good. A little bit of a smoky opening on this one, and one of my hairs as well. So we'll get this guy out and into the glass. I have to admit, coffee stouts are something that I've only really just gotten into recently. I don't actually drink coffee. A lot of people wonder why when I enjoy beer so much I don't drink coffee, but it's just something that I have honestly never gotten into. I've never really enjoyed the taste of coffee, but since it's been put in beer, as I have to admit, I have actually quite enjoyed it. So as you can see, there was a kind of quarter finger of a frothy, chocolatey beige tan head on there. That's just fading away, of course. But other than that, the beer is quite a kind of ebony rosewood colour. It looks quite nice. There's some big bubbles sticking towards the side of the glass, but quite a few little ones just going up towards what is now left of that head. It's just a really kind of thin, foamy layer actually. There wasn't much carbonation in that at all. But yeah, it looks kind of exactly as you'd expect from a stout beer. So we'll have a look at the aroma here. So on first note, it smells quite sweet. It's quite chocolatey, as you kind of would expect. I was expecting something a little bit more roasty than this, to be honest, when it's a sort of coffee or foreign stout. But overall it's quite chocolatey. There's a bit of licorice in there, maybe some brown sugars too, some sort of sweet caramel, but maybe just a little bit toasted as well. If we sugar it up a little bit, yeah, you get a little bit of red fruity ester coming out of it if you sugar it up. Some earthy hops as well, I'd say. But overall, yeah, it's quite chocolatey. There's a little bit of roasted black malt in there, I would say. And you can get a little bit of the coffee, but really, like I said, it's mainly chocolatey, a little bit of licorice as well, and some of those toasted brown sugars, maybe even a little bit of a red fruity ester. But it smells quite nice. It has everything that you would expect from one of these kind of foreign stout beers, or coffee stouts I would say, but it is a little bit sweeter. You could kind of mistake it for a milk stout if you're not careful, but yeah, if you sugar it up a bit, you definitely get a little bit of that kind of roasted coffee element to it. So yeah, we'll see how we get on with this one. So this one is the Espresso beer, part of the premium range from Niigata Beer up in Niigata Prefecture. Kanpai. Now that's pretty nice. That is really quite nice actually. Really does, it is more sweet, definitely. It's a lot more sweet than I was expecting it would be. It does kind of, to me in terms of taste, it fits more maybe into the kind of sweet stout category than it does the sort of coffee stout thing. But it's good nonetheless. It doesn't matter that way. One of the things I always say on the channel is that we can talk about different styles and things all day, but mainly the whole point is whether the beer is good or not. And to be honest, there's not much doubt in my mind that this one is actually pretty good. And it's interesting because the beer that I saw Casey and Eric review from this brewery, they didn't like actually. But this one I'd say is pretty damn good. So as I always say with these dark beers, sugar them around your palate and just let the whole mouth adjust to them. So with this one, I'd say you've got quite a roasted kind of black malt base on this one. That goes right across the middle of the tongue. And you can feel a little bit of that dryness coming out into the aftertaste. On top of that, you've got some sweet, kind of toasted, caramelly malts in there. Those brown sugars are bringing out a little bit of sweetness just as you move out to the edge of the palate. There's a good bit of a kind of milky, but maybe at the same time a bit of kind of darker chocolate in there as well. And you've got some of the kind of dryness from the roasted black malts in there creeping out too. The middle of the palate is where most of the flavours in this beer are coming out. I wouldn't say there's an overwhelming presence of coffee in this one. Like I was saying, to me, it strikes me as more of a sweet stout, and the sort of slightly roasted, blackish coffee malts, or the espresso in this case, it comes out more in the aftertaste than it does in the sort of foretaste of the beer, if you like. But this is nice. I certainly would drink this beer again, I'll say that right away. But yeah, at the back corners of the palate, you've got a little bit of earthy dryness there, and that actually blends together with this black roasted malt that's coming out. There is a little bit more of that as you move towards the edge of the palate, and that kind of builds a good bridge between the earthy hops and that roasted black malt base. It kind of spreads a little bit forward as you move through the beer gradually, and around the front curve of the tongue it's almost not quite there. There's maybe just a tiny little bit of grassiness there, but overall it's quite a smooth earthiness for me around the front of the palate. Maybe just behind the front curve of the tongue too, you get that little oily bubble there, and I'd say there's perhaps a little bit of kind of red, candied, fruity ester coming out of the beer there, and it's very nice. The flavours of this beer go together really quite well. Like I said, I certainly wouldn't hesitate to drink this beer again. Yeah, this is a good beer. It's really nice. Like I said, the only thing that I would comment about this beer would be when it is an espresso stout, you do expect a little bit more of that flavour to come out. But like I said, this one is more chocolatey, it's a little bit more brown sugary. There maybe is a little bit of licorice in this one as well actually, but not as much as you'd think from the aroma. To me, this one comes across as being a little bit more of a kind of sweet stout, maybe a kind of dry stout actually is a good way to describe this one, because it reminds me of some of these Irish dry stouts that are quite sweet but also have a little bit of that kind of bitterness in the aftertaste. So maybe it fits into that category too. But the main point of this review is that this one is a pretty good beer. I certainly wouldn't hesitate to drink it again. In terms of the mouthfeel of this one, I'd say it's quite mid-bodied actually. The carbonation is just nice on this one. There's a little bit of a prickle to it, and that actually helps the beer make that transition. The carbonation comes in, the sweetness just spreads across your tongue, then it fades to be a little bit dry. Like I said, you've got a little bit of sweetness from the malt base there. You've also got some bitterness that comes out from that malt base too as you move into the aftertaste. Some bitterness as well on the edge of the palate from the hoppy side of the beer, and there is a teeny tiny little bit of a fruity juicy character as well, but that's very, very minimal. Like I say, the main point about this beer is that it is more kind of like a sweet stout rather than a sort of coffee stout in my opinion, which from the name is what I would expect. One thing I should actually point out is that on this bottle, not sure how well you can see it, let me just see, there's a little boat on the top of the bottle there. I just noticed that after I poured it, that there's a little bit of an engraving into the glass on this one. Maybe you can actually see the artwork a little bit better like this. You can see, very, very simply done, with a nice little boat on the neck there. There you can see it right here. But yeah, nice beer, nicely presented, and I certainly wouldn't hesitate to drink it again. So if you get the chance, make sure you try the Espresso beer from Niigata Beer. I'm going to see if I can try one of the ones that are named after Edinburgh, of course, which I feel obliged to do since I'm Scottish. But yeah, if you enjoy kind of sweet stouts, Irish dry stouts and things, definitely check out this one, the Espresso beer from Niigata Beer in Niigata Prefecture. So yeah, as always, I hope you've enjoyed this beer review. If you have, please consider subscribing, like and sharing, all the usual YouTube stuff. Let me know your own thoughts on this beer in the video description below, and do let me know your favourite beers from this brewery as well. Let me know that all in the comment section. It'd be great to hear from you guys. You can also go and check out Casey and Eric's channel like I mentioned to you before. But until the next time, I'll catch you soon. I hope you're enjoying this Japanese series of beer reviews that I'm doing for you while I'm here in Osaka. Until the next time, slanted just now, Kanpai, the Espresso beer from Niigata Beer, Niigata, Japan. Kanpai.